In the interconnected world of the 21st century, a new kind of warfare unfolds not on battlefields, but in the unseen currents of the Internet. A shadowy entity, known to intelligence agencies and cybersecurity experts as the Lazarus Group, has emerged from the digital ether. Accused of operating under the command of the North Korean regime, this sophisticated organization has been linked to some of the most audacious and financially devastating cyberattacks in history. Their mission, according to various reports, is singular: to generate billions in illicit revenue, effectively bypassing international sanctions and funding the Hermit Kingdom's ambitions. The Lazarus Group, also referred to by names like Hidden Cobra or APT-38, is not a loose collective but a highly organized, state-sponsored entity. Cybersecurity researchers and intelligence agencies, including the FBI, believe the group operates directly under the Democratic People's Republic of Korea's primary intelligence agency, the Reconnaissance General Bureau. Their primary objective, as asserted by numerous UN Security Council reports, is to provide critical funding for North Korea's military and weapons programs, circumventing stringent international economic sanctions designed to isolate the nation. This motivation fuels an unrelenting campaign of digital theft. In late 2014, the world witnessed one of Lazarus Group's most brazen public attacks, the breach of Sony Pictures Entertainment. The U.S. government formally attributed this attack to North Korea and the Lazarus Group. The hackers' demands were clear: stop the release of The Interview, a satirical film depicting a plot against North Korean leader Kim Jong-un. When Sony refused, the attackers retaliated by releasing vast quantities of stolen data, including employee personal information, unreleased films, and confidential emails. This act was not just about theft, it was a demonstration of destructive capability and state-level digital intimidation. The Sony Pictures attack, while impactful, was primarily about disruption and political messaging. However, as international sanctions tightened, the Lazarus Group's focus shifted decisively towards direct financial gain. Cybersecurity analysts, like those at Symantec and BAE Systems, observed a strategic pivot, targeting financial institutions with sophisticated malware designed to exploit vulnerabilities in global banking infrastructure. This shift marked the beginning of a relentless campaign to siphon billions directly from banks and, eventually, from the burgeoning world of cryptocurrency. One of the most infamous examples of their financial predation occurred in 2016, the Bangladesh bank heist. Lazarus Group attempted to steal nearly $1 billion from the bank's account at the Federal Reserve Bank of New York. Leveraging sophisticated spear phishing attacks, they gained access to the bank's internal network, deploying custom malware, later identified by cybersecurity firm BAE Systems as Trojan Bampwy. This malware allowed them to manipulate the SWIFT global financial messaging system. While most of the transfers were blocked due to a typo, an astonishing $81 million was successfully diverted. The $81 million stolen from Bangladesh Bank vanished into a labyrinthine money laundering scheme. Reports from the FBI and other investigators indicate the funds were routed through casinos in the Philippines, a common tactic used to obscure the origins of illicit wealth. This incident exposed critical vulnerabilities in the global financial system and underscored the Lazarus Group's advanced capabilities not just in hacking, but also in sophisticated financial evasion. The sheer audacity and near success of the Bangladesh bank heist sent shockwaves through the international banking community, signaling a new era of state-sponsored cyber-enabled financial crime. In May 2017, a new threat emerged: the WannaCry ransomware attack. This global cyber attack impacted hundreds of thousands of computers across more than 150 countries, encrypting files and demanding Bitcoin payments for their release. Organizations from hospitals to major corporations were crippled. While not primarily a financial theft, the disruption was immense, and the U.S. government, alongside cybersecurity firms like Google and Microsoft, attributed the attack to the Lazarus Group. They exploited a vulnerability dubbed Eternal Blue, widely believed to have been developed by the U.S. National Security Agency, but later leaked. The Lazarus Group employs a diverse and constantly evolving arsenal of malware. Their attacks frequently begin with highly targeted spear phishing emails, carefully crafted to trick individuals into opening malicious attachments or clicking compromised links. Once inside a network, they deploy bespoke malware families like Maui, Mata, and others, designed for specific tasks: data exfiltration, network reconnaissance, or system disruption. This adaptability and willingness to develop custom tools highlights a well-resourced and highly skilled team, capable of persistent and sophisticated intrusions. As the cryptocurrency market exploded, offering decentralized and often less traceable transactions, the Lazarus Group identified a new, lucrative target. Reports from various cybersecurity firms indicate a significant pivot towards crypto exchanges and DeFi platforms. This shift was a natural evolution for a group seeking to bypass traditional financial safeguards. The sheer volume of wealth held in digital assets, coupled with the relative novelty and evolving security of some platforms, presented an irresistible opportunity for a group adept at exploiting vulnerabilities and laundering funds. One of the most significant cryptocurrency heists attributed to Lazarus Group occurred in March 2022, targeting the Ronin Bridge, a sidechain supporting the popular blockchain game Axie Infinity. According to the U.S. Treasury Department, the hackers exploited vulnerabilities in the bridge's security, making off with an astounding $625 million in cryptocurrency. This attack demonstrated a new level of sophistication, moving beyond traditional bank networks to directly target complex blockchain infrastructure and smart contract vulnerabilities. It solidified Lazarus Group's reputation as a leading threat in the digital asset space. The Ronin Bridge incident was not an isolated event. Over the years, numerous cryptocurrency exchanges have fallen victim to Lazarus Group's tactics. Researchers have linked them to breaches at major exchanges like Coincheck and KuCoin, collectively accounting for billions of dollars in stolen digital assets. Their methods often involve a combination of spear phishing attacks against employees, exploiting supply chain vulnerabilities in third-party software, and leveraging stolen credentials to gain unauthorized access. The goal is always the same: to seize control of large reserves of cryptocurrency before attempting to launder it through mixers and decentralized exchanges. Beyond technical exploits, the Lazarus Group consistently demonstrates exceptional skill in social engineering. They meticulously research their targets, creating compelling narratives and fake personas to trick individuals into compromising their own security. Whether impersonating recruiters, fellow developers, or even cybersecurity experts, their ability to manipulate human psychology is a critical component of their success. This approach allows them to bypass even robust digital defenses, leveraging human trust and error to gain initial access, a critical first step in many of their multi-stage attacks. A hallmark of Lazarus Group's operations is their sophisticated use of evasive infrastructure. They route their attacks through complex networks of compromised servers and virtual private networks, often located in multiple countries. This strategy makes tracing the origin of an attack incredibly difficult, providing layers of anonymity and deniability. They are also known to quickly adapt their command and control servers, frequently changing IP addresses and domains, frustrating international law enforcement and cybersecurity researchers attempting to track their movements and disrupt their operations. The scale and impact of Lazarus Group's activities have prompted a massive global investigative effort. Agencies like the U.S. Federal Bureau of Investigation, FBI, the National Security Agency, NSA, and the Treasury Department are actively involved. The United Nations Security Council has also repeatedly condemned North Korea for its illicit cyber activities, imposing additional sanctions on individuals and entities linked to the group. The investigation is a complex web of digital forensics, intelligence gathering, and international diplomatic pressure, all aimed at disrupting the group's operations and holding North Korea accountable. Despite North Korea's consistent denials, evidence gathered by multiple intelligence agencies and cybersecurity firms points unequivocally to the Lazarus Group's state sponsorship. In 2018, the U.S. Department of Justice unsealed an indictment against Park Jin-hyuk, a North Korean programmer accused of working for the Lazarus Group and participating in the Sony Pictures, Bangladesh Bank, and WannaCry attacks. These indictments, while difficult to enforce directly against individuals in North Korea, serve to publicly attribute the crimes and disrupt the group's ability to operate freely in the international digital space. One of the most persistent challenges for investigators is tracking and recovering the stolen funds. Lazarus Group employs sophisticated money laundering techniques, including chain hopping between different cryptocurrencies, using privacy-enhancing coins, and leveraging unregulated mixers to obscure the transaction trail. While law enforcement has made some progress, such as recovering a portion of the funds from the Ronin Bridge heist, the vast majority of stolen assets remain unrecovered, continuing to flow into the North Korean regime's coffers, directly contributing to its nuclear and ballistic missile programs. The Lazarus Group is not static. Cybersecurity researchers, including those at Google, continuously report on their evolving tactics, techniques, and procedures, TTPs. They consistently adapt to new security measures, explore emerging technologies like decentralized finance, and refine their social engineering schemes. This constant evolution means that the global cybersecurity community must remain vigilant, anticipating their next move and developing countermeasures to protect financial institutions, critical infrastructure, and individuals from their relentless attacks. The threat landscape is dynamic, and Lazarus Group remains at the forefront of state-sponsored cyber exploitation. The story of the Lazarus Group is more than a series of high-profile hacks. It's an ongoing, unseen war for economic stability and national security. It highlights the vulnerability of our digital systems and the geopolitical complexities of state-sponsored cybercrime. As long as North Korea faces severe economic sanctions and seeks alternative revenue streams, the Lazarus Group will likely continue its operations, adapting, innovating, and posing a persistent threat to global finance and digital trust. The billions they have stolen represent not just lost money, but a stark reminder of the digital frontier's volatile nature.